Presidio. So this is the only fully restored fort west of the Mississippi River. It was restored in the 1960s by Mrs. O'Connor, who is in the portrait by the fireplace. She put her money forth to have this restored in the 1960s. The whole entire property belonged to the Catholic Church. We just, this past January, became part of the Texas Historical Commission. So up until then, it did belong to the Catholic Church. So the first country that we belonged to as Presidio La Bahia was the Spanish. And so this room goes over the Spanish time period of the fort. The Presidio La Bahia, this is our third location, not the original location. The Spanish built the Presidio La Bahia and the Mission Espiritu Santo after the French, or La Salle, landed on Spanish territory. So that's the Spanish. We've been a part of the Spanish since Columbus, 1492, and so the next room will be about us getting tired of the Spanish. We belong to the Spanish for a long time, and the next room will be about those people that were going against the Spanish government.
Oh, okay.
Armies do around the world, right? If you can't take all of your weapons with you, you want to destroy it so that your enemy doesn't have it. And so this is a leftover. You can see on the front how they closed it, and then they just blew it up so that the other armies won't get it. Behind you is a list of all the men that were massacred here at the fort in 1836. So we had 342 men that were massacred by Santa Anna. And that's what we're known for, and I'll give you some more information about that. This is the diorama of the Battle of Coleto Creek. So Fannin was supposed to leave the fort 5 days before he did. I don't know if you want to...
5 days.
Yeah, he waited. He got orders from Sam Houston to leave this fort, but he decided not to. He decided to stay. And the thing about what happened here is General Urrea so Fannin left the fort, marched about 9 miles, so about 27 kilometers outside of the fort, but he was surrounded by General Urrea's men. And so that's when they decided to do the circle and then fight their way or try to survive by shooting and firing their cannons. But they didn't last. They ended up surrendering. And when they surrendered, they were marched back here to the fort and into the chapel. And then the second and third group, as they were getting close to where they were going to be stopped, they heard the shots from the first group. So we have no survivors from the first group that was taken out. But the second and third group, when they heard what happened, they were able to come up with a plan to escape, to survive. The Ashland Massacre, the Goliad Massacre, because of the men that were able to live through the second and third massacres. Men from the Battle of Coleto Creek were held in that side altar, and they were the last group, including Fannin, that were taken out and massacred. So the wounded right outside of the chapel on the right side, that's where they were massacred. So after all of that happened, the Mexican soldiers left. This is in March, the end of March. And Texas can be cold, it can be warm. But 3 months later, in June, General Rusk comes through the area after we won the Battle of San Jacinto and became the independent Republic of Texas, and he he could smell the decay, the rot from 300, almost 400 men that have just been left. And so he orders his men to gather all the remains and put them where the monument is outside of the fort in the back. The building is original to the 1700s. This did not fall apart. This is the only example of a Spanish groin ceiling left from the Spanish time period. And so what you are sitting in is what the men were in the 1700s, 1800s, people having prayers, So if it was in the fall and the trees weren't there, you could just stand here and take a picture of it. That is the statue of the angel of Goliad.
Okay.
Back out.